Hey guys, how are you today? It is Allison from Allison Answers and from Lager Counseling Services. I got a few very pointed things to talk about today. One of the reasons that I am not with Ryan today is we just spent probably, let's see, it's 10 to 11. We probably spent about an hour and a half trying to freaking figure out our roadcast, our podcast situation, and we couldn't do it because we have some glitches in my microphone and things were not working. So I decided that I'm just going to bring the content to you by myself. So it may not be as fun without Ryan, but we're going to make it work. So what I want to throw out to you guys is that number one is that focus is power. I'm in the middle of something called 75 Hard, and basically 75 Hard requires 5 critical tasks, and those critical tasks are you have to do a 45-minute workout in the morning. Excuse me, it's not in the morning. You have to do 2 45-minute workouts, and one of them has to be outside. You have to take a progress picture. You have to drink 1 gallon of water. I'm going to show you. This is my baby, my 1 gallon of water that I drink every day. You can see that I'm behind, okay? So I got to catch up today. We drink 1 gallon of water every day. There's no alcohol. You have to stick to a particular meal plan, which basically it's not, for me, it's not about weight loss. It's about mental toughness. And that is what 75 Hard is about. Wait a minute, I didn't tell you all the tests. Let me think. And you got to read 10 pages of a personal development or self-growth type of book. 10 pages every day. And you can't be lame about any of those things. You just basically have to do it. So the reason that I'm giving you that background is because of the topic that we're going to talk about today. So the topic is about focus. It's about mental toughness. It's about sticking with something even when it hurts, even when it's boring, even when it sucks. All of the things that make people not do things, this is about today, how actually successful people become successful. So referring back to 75 Hard, the topic today, the reason that I thought of it is because Andy Frisella is the guy who developed 75 Hard. And one of the things that he wrote, I just finished his book. I'll show you his book. This is it. I just finished it because we read every day 10 pages for 75 days. And you end up just like devouring through books. So I read anyhow. And I think that if you want to be successful, successful people read. And I believe in reading every single day and adding something to my knowledge base, to who I am as a human being, and growing every day, because we are either dying or we're growing. So don't be stagnant, okay? So I just want to read to you. It's a very simple concept, but it is so freaking profound, because what he writes at the end of the book, it's in the very last chapter, it just really stood out to me. And it's something that we've heard a million times before. It is not something that is new. It's just so basic, but the way he says it just hit me. And it said, decide what critical tasks will move you forward towards your biggest goals and dreams. So that's one thing. Then it says, and complete them without compromise, period. Without deviation, period, every single day. So what that means is that we choose every stinking day of our lives 5 critical tasks. We choose things that we know if they are completed without deviation, without compromise, without listening to the other voice in our head that tells us not to do it because it's too hard, because it's too blah, 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 whatever the hell we tell ourselves the reason why we shouldn't do the thing, that if we follow those things every single day, that upon commitment, completion, not deviating, following through long-term on those critical tasks, you know that you will land somewhere. So I'm sure that everybody who's listening today, who's on this show, knows that you have a dream, you have a vision, you have something in your life that is telling you that if you just do A, B, C, and D every day. You will be there. So if you're in debt, let me throw something out there to you. I tell people this all the time. If you're in debt and you don't want to be in debt, do something every single day that takes you out of debt. So if, let's say you spend 20 bucks every day on lunch in Starbucks, then take 20 bucks every single day and hit that debt. Hit it every day and do it every day, because I believe in incremental changes. Incremental changes create exponential results. So our idea today is, I'm asking you, and this is the biggest myth when it comes to success. People think that somebody gets, oh, I got my big break, or oh, it was when I met so-and-so. No, it's the incremental things every stinking day, that when you hold tight, you hold fast to your dreams. You understand? You hold fast and you say, what is this thing that I'm about to do? Is this decision that I'm making? Is this thing going to bring me closer to my goal or farther away from my goal? And if it's bringing you farther away from your goal, don't do it. So it's simple, but it's not easy. And I'll tell you why, because if you think about it, most people aren't doing this. Most people on this earth are basically spending their lives making excuses. We are so accustomed to excuses that we actually think it's normal. We feel sorry for people like, oh, I know it's hard for you, don't do it. Oh, you're uncomfortable, don't do it. I have to tell you something, discomfort is one of the best things you could ever have in your life, because discomfort produces change. Discomfort pushed through produces a sense of accomplishment, and you learn what you're made of, and you learn what you can do with your life if you actually push through boredom, push through maintenance crap that you don't feel like doing day in and day out, that creates a person. So what I want to say to you guys is this. I'm going to give you a task. I want you to write down 3 priorities in your life. Or we could call it priorities, or it could be 3 things you want to do in your life that are big goals or dreams. So if it could be something with weight loss or becoming fit. I mean, that's a very simple example. So it's like, okay, I want to be long, lean, tight, and smooth. I want to have a 6-pack. I want to have whatever. So what would 5 critical tasks that I could do every day, what would bring me there? And then you write those down. And then you never, ever, 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 ever deviate ever from those things, ever, until you arrive where you want to arrive. And we never really arrive. So it could be that. Another thing could be really simply, it could be, okay, I want to, I don't know, I want to travel to Africa somewhere. I want to go on a safari. So now what are 5 critical tasks I could do every day to accomplish that? I want a particular job. What are 5 things I can do every day to accomplish that? There is something amazing about long-standing commitment and in the same direction, that you do not leave your direction. People are so easily moved away from things. People in our society people don't stay anywhere. I love Jim Rohn, because Jim Rohn talks about the idea that how come nobody stays at a baseball game anymore? When their team is losing, they leave. And he's saying, like, we have to learn staying power. So there's 3 things I want you to think about. 1 is focus. Focus is power. Wherever I focus, that's where my power goes. And the more tight and lasered in my focus is, the better I am. Number 2 is we need staying power, consistency, day in and day out. I'm not talking about missing a day. Because if you have a dream, or if you have something that you're staying with, you don't leave it for a day. You don't leave it to rest. You don't leave it because you're tired. You stay with it until it's done. Jim Rohn talks about something else, which is so cool. He says, how long would you wait for your baby to walk? And the answer is, as long as it takes. So if you have a dream that you know that no matter what, you're not going to let go of, how long will you wait for it to happen? Until it does. So if you have that commitment, guess what? the dream happens, because you're not leaving that dream until it's accomplished. And I'm going to do 5 things every day to make sure that that dream is in my hand upon whatever day it occurs, because I'm not leaving it until it happens. Think about that. How many people today are willing to stay with something until it happens? Most people aren't. And I'm going to tell you the biggest success hack that there is, because most people won't and we will. Guess where that puts us? Top 1%, top 2%, top possibly, I don't know, 3%, but that's the lowest we're going, because the majority of human beings are so stuck in mediocrity. We are so lulled to sleep by, oh, let's make it easy, let's make it convenient. And listen, I got to tell you something. I am all about convenience. I love electronics. I love the tech stuff. I love anything that's going to advance our culture. Hate me or not, I love it. And I believe in things that are streamlined and get you to where you need to go quicker. I think that efficiency is fantastic. But when it comes to that, oh, I don't want to do that thing because of some lame reason, which really is an excuse, you're not going to get a great return. Now, when I'm talking, I wish I had Ryan here to kind of bounce back and forth to talk about this, but we have like these kind of 2 different voices going on in our head, and most people don't realize that they have that happening. So let me tell you, Andy Frisella in his book, I'm plugging his book. Andy, you better hear me out there that I'm plugging your book, and like, at least like my thingamajiggy and subscribe to me or something. But anyhow, you don't have to, Andy, it's okay. But this is what he calls one voice a bitch voice and one voice a boss voice. That wouldn't really be my language, but I like it, because it is a bitchy voice. The voice that says, oh my God, it's too hot out, don't run today. Oh my God, it's raining. Or, you know what, I'm tired, I'll do it tomorrow. Or, you know what, why would you want to work so hard on that? That's boring. That's just maintenance. And the truth is that the boss voice will tell you, no, look at what you're going to get from it. It's the other voice, the bitch voice, is going to tell you what you're going to lose. And he talks about that in his book also. He talks about, the bitch voice will tell you everything you're going to lose if you do that thing. So, if you're trying to save money and you decide not to spend money in another direction, then what happens is the bitch voice will say, oh, look, but now you can't do that anymore. But the boss voice will say, oh my God, look where you're going to be next year if you do that. So my language would be a little bit different, is we have a voice in our head every single day. And I've talked to you guys about this over and over again. There are different variations, but it's the same thing. I believe the voice is pretty evil, and it just keeps people, I don't want to say evil, that's a little strong, but basically the voice is the voice that tells us how to stay safe. And if you stay safe, you will live a mediocre life no matter what. Do you understand that? You will not have a vibrant, exciting, creative, successful life if you live in safety. So our brain is designed, the archaic aspect of our brain is designed to keep us safe. So it scans for trouble at all times. So if you decide to break out and do something new, or you decide to do something that's a little bit harder or a little bit boring or whatever it is, our brains want to keep us in the same spot in order to maintain safety. Safety is not what we're looking for. Growth and change, as far as the archaic part of our brain, means danger to that part of our brain. So we don't want to be responding and following that part. That would be the bitch voice that Andy's talking about. Okay, so the voice, what we want to follow is the voice of excellence. We want to follow the voice that says, no matter what, you can do it. You are on fire now. Don't give up now. You've come this far. Look where you're going, not what you're losing. So we want to listen to the voice of excellence. The voice of discouragement, the voice that tells you, you know what, it's too hard to do, is the voice that actually brings you down. And it's also very tied into something that I talk about, because I do psychology, and that's our main, it's my main career. So basically, the idea is that we all have core beliefs. And the core beliefs were developed when we were little children, or from the time we were born, through the collection of data that came through our five senses. That collection of data and the meaning that we attached to that data created a core belief or several core beliefs. Most people, depending upon the data they collected, the majority of people learn that they're not that shiny. They're not that excellent. They learn that the best way to operate on earth is to be kind of just good enough and to kind of slide under the radar and be just like everyone else, so you fit in and you're loved. And then depending upon trauma, depending upon how you were treated as a child, depending upon your experiences, you learned what your identity is. And I know that most people have learned, I'm not good enough. I don't fit in. They see themselves as less than. So when they see someone who's uber successful, their first thought is, I can never be that. Let me tell you something, that couldn't even be more bullshit than, I don't even know. Because every single one of us had to be so incredible to even make it here on this earth. I believe we were designed by God. So that's, I'm a person of faith. But besides that fact, if you just look biologically at human beings, they came from a freaking sperm, right? And an egg. So basically the sperm is one of, forget it, how many that made it. The guy made it to the egg, okay? That's an unbelievable feat to begin with, right? Through persistent swimming, okay? Just keep swimming, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so the guy made it, right? And then can you fathom what has happened to create us as a human being? There are dreams, there are desires, there is passion, there is life and light inside of us. There's creations inside of us that were put there. If you look at like a seed and you see what that seed turns into, if you look at the fact that we were these little cells that kept dividing and becoming and becoming and becoming, we don't stop now. What age are you? If you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, why would we stop now? Ever. We're continuing to grow and to develop and to become something. So I am pleading with you to, number one, find your excellence. Don't shut off those voices inside that have those whispers of dreams that don't make sense, because the whispers of dreams that don't make any damn sense are probably your calling. They're probably your destiny. They're probably who you are and what would really make you happy. Those little small, echoes inside of you that you just silence with the mediocrity of the society around us. It tells us, oh, that's not realistic. You know what? You can take your realistic bullshit and shoo, I'm not going to say it. Let me tell you something. We have silenced excellence for so long that we don't even know we're doing it. We're miraculous beings, okay? So anybody who's listening, I want you to get that drive inside of you, that kind of enthusiasm, something inside of you to wake the hell up and look at the fact that if you stop and you listen to your divine, the little DNA inside of you, those seeds, those dreams that are just haunting you, right? I want you to stop and notice them. Then that's one. Then I want you to prioritize some dreams, okay? Make it 3, because you know what? When we make it more than that, it doesn't work. You could even just make it 1, because you can do one thing today and get one thing done, or you could do everything today and get nothing done. So pick 1, or you could have 3 in the background and choose 1 today, and then pick 5 tasks, critical tasks that you will never leave. that you will never stop doing. They can morph, they can change and say, okay, you know what, now I've done that task for 125 days, and now it's going to shift into this other task, that it's going to advance into this other task that I'm staying with. Okay, now you're going to have those tasks, and now this is what you got. So the first thing is we laser focus on the one thing we want, and we don't leave it till it happens. Number 2 is we make 5 critical tasks that we marry. We never leave them until we accomplish, and it might be a part of the goal that you accomplish with those 5 tasks, and then you create another 5, but you do not leave until your dream happens. And then the third thing is that you stay on top of your inner workings of your mind. This is where I kind of deviate from other people in personal development, because then I'm driving home the psychology behind it, that we are driven by this network, this neurological network that was created by the world we were born into, and we were conformed to it. And now it is our duty and our obligation to succeed. And the way we succeed and become who we are, the driving force of who we're meant to be in our life, is to take that core belief and that conformity that we have in our body, mind, and spirit, that we've adjusted to this mediocrity of either the family we grew up in, or the small community we're in, or the family that we're in now, or whatever, the society at large, or the PTA, for God's sakes. Who is conformed to the PTA, by the way, out there? Are you conformed to that bullshit? I'm sorry. I really shouldn't have said that. I'm sure the PTA is wonderful, but I'm just saying, like, how many women out there are conformed to bullshit, judging one another? You have to stay in line with what everybody else is doing. No, you don't. Okay, I totally digressed and I lost track. I need Ryan to bring me back, but let's go back. Bottom line is this, okay? So you listen to that dream, you become laser focused in that dream, you create 5 critical tasks that you're gonna follow no matter what, and you marry them. You marry them. And the third thing I was talking about is psychology behind it. The psychology behind it is you are going to have core beliefs that were developed from your conformity to the world you were born into. So the next thing your duty is to transform out of that conformity. So you want to be transformed. So the way that we transform ourselves is first be aware of the conformity, be aware of the core beliefs that are running your life and keeping you basically in mediocrity every damn stinking day of your life. No, thank you. Yeah, you won't be alone, I can tell you. That's a guarantee. You will have tons of friends in mediocrity. But do you really want tons of friends in mediocrity? Choose people who are not in mediocrity and like soar and experience the greatness of life. Oh God, I digressed again. Back to what I'm saying. So now the psychology is you find those core beliefs that are keeping you in your mediocrity, and maybe even below, keeping you less than every damn other person on earth, because you believe what your mind is telling you. And then from those core beliefs, you want to know what the hell the thoughts are that are generating from that core belief. The thoughts could be, oh my God, you know what? I've never been good at that. That's just not who I am. Oh, that's too hard. Oh, you know what? That's not realistic. Oh, you know, my family's never been able to do anything like that. That's too much money. We can't afford it. I don't know. The thoughts that run every single day. Thoughts are electrical impulses that run on a loop that don't stop. So you want to be able to hear them, hear those thoughts that are generating regularly, and make a conscious decision. That could be one of your critical tasks, that you will pivot away from that thought and you're going to create a new one every stinking time the thought comes up. So you're going to become a master at thought creation. You will be a master at creating thoughts that multiply your life, thoughts that create new things, thoughts that bring you to a higher level, thoughts that tell of your greatness and who God made, and that He does not make rotten, stinky, mediocre things. What an insult to any divinity you believe in, anything you believe that's right and good on this earth, to believe that somehow I'm less than. So I was created, what? To just, I don't know, be boring? That's ridiculous. There is nothing, if you look at the majesty of this earth, is there anything boring? The universe, look at the stars, look at the sunset, look at the lush greenery. If you really look at the mountains and say, is there anything that's ever been created that's just blah, boring? Look at the flowers, the freaking flowers. There's like majestic amounts. The flowers have every color imaginable, every fragrance imaginable. Look at the fish, look at the animals. If you go under into the sea and you look at the colors, that they're electric and they're striped. And I mean, creation is magnificent. And we somehow have bought the freaking bullshit lie that we're supposed to be plain vanilla and follow a crowd that's basically on their way to walk off a cliff and just die a boring life, living with people that they don't care about, that they don't even like, working at jobs they hate, and just biding time, wasting time until they're dead. Holy crap! You see, this is what goes through my freaking mind. There doesn't even have to be anybody here for me to feel this. I am so passionate about waking everybody the hell up. So do you got the point? I'm getting right in. That's it. In and out. This was supposed to be short. I hope it was short. Bottom line, zone in on what you believe in and what you want to do with your life. Create 5 critical tasks that you're going to marry that you're never leaving until you are completed in your goal. Number 3 is do not forget the underbelly crap that's going to bring you back to your old behaviors over and over and over again. That is where people lose it, because they forget about the psychology. We are so addicted to our old thoughts and beliefs that we forget they're even there, and they keep driving us back away from our dreams. So, my precious, beautiful people who are listening today, if you heard anything today that ignited something in you and you believe it would help somebody else, please share it. Please subscribe if you haven't. And I would love to have comments and hear from you guys. I'm also opening up this really unbelievable blowout Women of Excellence Facebook group where I'm going to be giving a daily challenge every day to women to come out of this kind of dulled out femininity that has taught us to people please, be nice all the time, to kind of fit in with all the other women, and to do things we resent and not know how to say no and live codependent lifestyles. And what this group is not about, it's not about like the feminist movement. It's not against men. I really think men are amazing, and I think that men need to come into their own as well. So if you guys ever want to do a challenge group, I will do it with you too, because I believe in it. But I believe we need to change the face of the female, that she doesn't have to have woman speak anymore, and she doesn't have to be so apologetic and saying she's sorry and people pleasing and never being able to say no, and kind of always adjusting to other people's feelings around her, that she forgets who she is. So if you know any women who would really benefit from that group, they have to be invited. But please have them message me. You can get me at Allison Answers on Instagram, or Lager Counseling on Instagram. You can also get me on Facebook, Allison Lager, LCSW CASAC, which is LCSW CASAC. And I am also have pages on Facebook that are Allison Answers and Lager Counseling Services. So you can also, I'm going to give you my email. My business email is Allison, ALISON, at Lager, LAGER, counseling.org. So if you want to send me a message, if you want to ask me a question, if you know somebody who you want me to invite to my Facebook group, have them reach out to me. If you want me to talk about something on this podcast that's passionate for you, or if you want to be a part of this movement, this mission of Mission Awake, waking people up, helping people to become all that they can be, I would love to hear what you have to say, and I'd just love to hear from you. And if you would be so kind as to follow me, like my pages, it would really help, because I really do want to reach as many people as I can while I'm alive. And it's not to any personal gain. I'm doing fine. I have locations of counseling centers. So it's not like I'm looking to create wealth doing this. I really want to help people. So guys, I pray that you have the best day. Don't forget to choose your dream, find your 5 critical tasks, and don't forget the voice that's generating inside of you that needs to be healed. Go work on it. And if you want, you can do one of my personal development digital programs that'll help you work on it. Have a beautiful, blessed day, my friends. Love to you.